everyone, I am CA Vibhuti Narang. Welcome to our channel Voxcov Academy. In today's video, we'll be continuing with our income tax series and discussing about the topic which is known as income tax returns and due dates. So we'll be ideally talking about all the 7 types of income tax return and their applicable due dates covered in the Income Tax Act. First of all, what are the topics we are covering in today's video is we'll be understanding of income tax return, then ITR 1 to ITR 7 in detailed description about all the 7 returns, date of filing of return of income, then what is the applicable late fees if we are delayed in filing of the return, and then last what are the benefits of filing income tax return. First of all, what is income tax return? So income tax return is a form which enables a taxpayer to declare his income, expenses, taxes, investments and deductions. So whatever in a particular financial year the taxpayer has done the financial transaction, whether whatever he has earned out of this income, whatever he has expended in the financial year, what is the tax he is supposed to pay, what are the deductions he is claiming, and what are the future investments he has done out of this earned income. So all this declaration is given in an income tax return to the income tax department. There are 7 types of ITR. One is ITR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So 1 to 7, 7 ITRs are applicable. Why is there a need to file ITR? The first is whenever your gross income exceeds the basic exemption limit, the department mandates you to file the return. Secondly, whenever you have refund, it can be due to the TDS reflected in your 26 AS and you do not have any other income. So if you want to claim refund, you need to have filed the return. Thirdly, if you want to apply for any visa or loan, so return is mandatory. And fourth, if you're a company or a firm, irrespective of the income earned, irrespective of the profit and loss you are declaring, filing of ITR is very mandatory in every case. Fine. Now, if you have watched my last to last lecture, that was the first basic lecture of income tax, I told you that there are 7 type of persons covered in income tax. That was definition of in that video. Those 7 persons I have categorized into 3 categories. One will be individual, second will be company, and third, the rest 5 will come under the topic others. In individual, we have 2 classes of persons. First is the one who are salaried and the second is one who are business or professionals. Now, what will be the sequence of the video will be like, first we will discuss the person who are individual and salaried, what are the returns applicable, then the person who are individual and into business or profession, what are the returns applicable, then we'll talk about others, and then last, if the company is SE, what return is liable to be filed. First of all, talking about individual who is salaried, that is in an employer-employee relationship or on a payroll basis. Now, this salaried individual to file ITR 1, the first basic return applicable to individual who are salaried, the following conditions need to be satisfied, then only ITR 1 is applicable. The first thing is he should be an individual as well as the resident of India. Second, the income should be only from salary and pension. So then you are covered in ITR 1. You can have an income of one house property. So you can show the rental income of only one house property, but that will not include losses from previous year. So carry forward of losses from previous year will not be applicable in case of ITR 1. Otherwise, one house property income is allowed. Last is income from other sources is applicable other than lottery income and race horses income. Then the other conditions are that the agriculture income should be rupees 5,000. Total income should not exceed 50 lakh. For example, if there is a director in a company, any high post person earning an income of a package of 60 lakh in a year per annum, that is 5 lakh per month. So ITR 1 will not be applicable. Any foreign asset you have or foreign income, ITR 1 not applicable. If you're a director or you're holding unlisted equity shares, then also ITR 1 is not applicable. If any of the following conditions in ITR 1 gets violated, for example, you individual, you are a non-resident, you are having more than one house property, you are having capital gain income, you are a director, or you have a foreign asset, foreign income, and your total income is exceeding 50 lakh, any of the condition is not matching the ITR 1 and you are salaried, then you can apply for ITR 2. So salaried person not eligible for ITR 1 can come under ITR 2. But to file ITR 2, there should not be any income under profession. So income under PGBP is strictly not allowed under ITR 2. Clubbing provisions, right? Now talking about individual HUF partnership other than LLP. So three category of person we are talking: individual HUF partnership firms other than limited liability partnerships. They are having business income. First we'll talk about ITR 4. ITR 4 is on the same background of ITR 1. Only one difference you'll notice. Two difference you'll notice. The first is that the income should be from business and profession, and that entity or that person should be a resident of India. Then you can have salary pension income also. One house property but loss again not able to carry forward. You can have income from other sources but lottery and race horses not allowed. This your agricultural income up to 5,000. Total income should not exceed 50 lakh. Foreign asset, foreign income not allowed. Director holding unlisted equity share not allowed. Now the other and the most important condition for which ITR 4 is made compulsory in case of business profession is that the person should opt for presumptive taxation under these three sections. Now what is presumptive taxation? I'll definitely have a dedicated video on it, who all are covered and what are the rules to be followed. As of now, or for a basic understanding, you can understand presumptive taxation allows the person to have the minimum range of profit or a minimum set percentage of profit on the gross turnover or the gross receipts it is declaring. For example, if I talk about section 4480, you have gross turnover and a set percentage of that gross turnover can be taken as your PGBP income. Similarly, 4480A is for professionals, and then 4480AE is for goods plying business, or you can say goods transport agency. But the twist point is that 4480 does not cover agency, commission or brokerage business. So ITR 4 will not be applicable for this category of person. Now till here we are done till ITR 4, which is covering presumptive taxation as mandatory point, which is important to be noted. But if I talk about individual HUF, keep in mind partnership firm again is not over here. So any individual HUF having business profession income not falling under ITR 4 will fall under ITR 3, but partnership firm, if not opting for presumptive taxation ITR 3, we have a separate ITR for partnership firm. Other than that, if you're an individual director in a company, ITR 3. If you're a partner in a partnership firm, ITR 3. And if you are having investment in unlisted equity shares, then also ITR 3. Now we need to understand the next ITR, which is applicable on partnership firms, LLPs, AOP, BOI, AJP, ITR 5. So all others category is covered under ITR 5. We have association of person, body of individual, artificial judicial person. Beside that, we also have cooperative society, local authority, estate of deceased, estate of insolvent, business trust, investment fund, any other registered entity not falling under ITR 1 to 4 due to individual or presumptive taxation. They're not salaried, they'll fall under ITR 5. Now come the point, what about companies? So for companies, we have ITR 6. ITR 6 is for companies other than companies claiming exemption under section 11. What is section 11? Section 11 is the income from property held for charitable or religious purpose. So if you are falling under the section 11 company, or you are under section 11, you are into charitable or religious purpose, the ITR which is applicable to you is ITR 7. So the following persons are required to file ITR 7. These are under 139 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, 4E and 4F. Talking about 4A is income from property held for charitable or religious purpose. 4B is return by political party. 4C, 4D deal with specific institutions who claim benefit under section 10 of the Income Tax Act. 4E is return filed by investment trust, and 4F is return filed by investment fund under section 115UB. So these category of persons are covered under ITR 7. Till here we have covered all the types of ITR. One, we have ITR V, which is not ITR 5. It is income tax return verification, which is a type of acknowledgement given by the income tax department after your successfully return is filed by the taxpayer. So after successful receipt of the income tax return, you get this acknowledgement that your return is filed. So this is ITR V, the verification form. Now we are done with almost all the ITRs. So we'll understand these types of ITRs through an example. Suppose this is a person who is CA Dhananjay, right? Now CA Dhananjay will be having different types of role and you have to guess which return is applicable to him. First of all, when he qualified as a CA, he got into a job in ABC Limited. So what kind of a return he'll file? He will be filing ITR 1 because he is a salaried person on payroll and applicable return is ITR 1. Now over a period of time, he got experience. He started up his own practice. But this practice was new. The income was not on a good amount and he was into presumptive taxation under section 44 ADA. Then in this case, he'll be filing ITR 4. After several years of experience, this firm grew up at a very large scale and the gross receipts is 75 lakh. Just for your knowledge, 44 ADA is applicable only till 50 lakh of receipts. So in this case, he is not applicable for ITR 4. Now he'll be filing ITR 3. Over a period of time and age, he becomes the director in a company. Then he'll be filing ITR 3. So this was the 4 phases when he qualified till the time he is successful in his life. These are the different types of return forms he'll be filing. Again, I'll discuss one more example. If this person is an agent, commission or brokerage income, as in he must be having any LIC agency or he is into commission business or any brokerage business. In that case, if this business is his main source of income, means the heart and soul of everything he is earning, his main source of income is only through these type of business, then it will be covered under ITR 3 because ITR 4 specifically 44 AD exclude these 3 categories. But if this is a part-time income or not his main source of income, then whatever ITR form is applicable, he can include this income under the head other sources. So he can include his income and file the normal ITR, whatever is applicable on him, you can file the ITR. So this was all about ITRs. Now what is the due date of filing return of income? What has happened is on 20th of May, there is a notification of the circular being issued by the department for the extension due to COVID-19 pandemic. So what I have done is that circular was covering many such amendments and extensions, but this is not a dedicated video on that particular topic. So I have only covered the ITR extensions. Rest I have not covered in this video. Now the type of SSE is individual, HUF, AOP, BOI. The actual date is 31st July. If your business is not under audit, but you are a business or professional, then the due date is 31st July. But if you are covered under audit, then you have to file your audit report by 30th September, and the individual persons who are required to get their firm or anything get audited, it can be an SSE corporate like ITR 6, non-corporate SSEs but whose accounts are getting audited under tax audit, or partner whose firm is getting audited. For them the due date of filing return is 31st October. And in business in which transfer pricing is applicable, report of TP is mandatory, then the due date is 30th November. The extensions are, if you are an individual HUF, AOP, BOI, 30th July both are extended to 30th September. 30th September is extended by 1 month, that is 31st October. 31st October is extended by 1 month, 30th November, and 30th November by 1 month, 31st December. So there is a good extension in this case, but rest are 1 month extensions. What is the late fees applicable if you get delayed in filing ITR? So this is upon the actual due dates I have taken, not from the extended due date. If you are filing your return on time, no late fees is applicable. But if you file your return till 31st December and your income is only up to 5 lakh, then you have late fees of 1000 rupees. But if your income is more than 5 lakh, then your late fees is 5000. If you file your return by next year 31st March, then if the income is up till 5 lakh, the late fees is again 1000, there is no extension. But income is more than 5 lakh, then the late fees will be 10,000 rupees. So this all we have covered, covering all the main aspects of income tax return. This was very much demanded by my subscribers also on the same topic. If you really like the video, you can also visit my website www.voxcov.com. If you want to register for any of the practical training courses that are available on the website, in the curriculum part, you can go and visit for the course details. Also, you can follow Voxcov Academy on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Please subscribe to my channel if you really like the video, and also press the black thumb blue for future updates and notification. That's all for today's video. Thank you very much. The topic covered in today's video is also available on my website www.voxcov.com. So if you want to register for any practical training sessions for GST, TDS, income tax, payroll, balance sheet finalization, you can just visit the website and enroll for the required course. Every course is available in basic and advanced medium. So as per your choice, you can just select the course and add to the cart for further payment. If you really like the video, then please press the black thumb blue and subscribe to my channel for latest updates and notification. Thank you very much.